Thank you for giving me the precious opportunity today to speak to you. I am so grateful. First of all, I would like to self-introduce myself. Well, finally, Tokyo Olympic and Tokyo Paralympic will be coming up in half a year. When the Tokyo Olympic was held previously, it took place in 1964, October the 10th. And 5 days before that, I was born in Hokkaido. And 5 days later, since my birth, Olympic and Paralympics Olympic ceremony was held, opening, and my father and my grandmother was actually at the stadium watching the opening ceremony. And they were so touched and impressed. And the torch runner had to impress them very much. And when the torch was lit, both of them determined that I should become an Olympian myself. And my name is Seiko. Se comes from the Olympics. So 5 days after the birth, I was given my name. And my father wanted his daughter to make her Olympian very much. Very fervent wish. And his prayer is incorporated into my name. And I really wanted to make my father's dream come true. So ever since I was very little, I was playing the speed skating, and it became my event. And I was able to become Olympian. If my name were not named after the Olympics, then maybe I was not the Olympian, and I had nothing to do with Olympics maybe. So as an athlete and through my work as the Olympic committee, I've been involved in the Olympics and Paralympics, and this time around I am the state minister in charge of the Olympics and Paralympics. And big games is coming up in Tokyo. So it's maybe the twist of the fate and the destiny that I am here in this position. So I am very much humble for it, and I will do my best. And this is the determination I have made once again coming into the new year. So 56 years ago, Tokyo Olympic was held, which was participated by 93 countries and economies, 20 competitions, 163 events. Compared with now, it was very few. However, in the 2016 Rio Olympic, previous one, it was participated by 207 countries and economy, and 33 competitions, 339 events will be held in Tokyo. So very big in scale. Of course, athletes coming from any country or economy can aim at getting the gold medal, but there are only actually a handful of countries who are ready to set the stage for it realistically, because there are only limited number of countries who can host the game, and we have to make a full preparation for it, of course. So first of all, lately, the Japanese athletes are having a very good performances in the Olympics. I used to head as a team to strengthen the Olympics competitiveness for Olympics, Olympia. And slogan we made was that personal growth has to be there, unless otherwise competitiveness will not be improved, because physically we are not that blessed, small stature and so forth, physique, but spirituality, mental strength, that can be improved with also the personal growth, and that can help strengthen athletes' performances. And what boils down to is a quality as a human being, and if that can be enhanced, then competitiveness will be raised. So we placed emphasis on the personal growth and the human strength of athletes, and that was very useful and effective. Particularly when the East Japan great earthquake hit nationwide, everyone were at loss what to do. Athletes have wondered, is it all right for them to continue playing sports under that difficult circumstances? But due to their own capability or thanks to the sports organization activities, or they all felt that they had to do something. And many of the athletes went to the affected area. And the children from the affected area said to the athletes, had to change their mindset drastically. They said to us that please make a best effort in your competition in the world. That will be a source for the hope and dream. That's what children said to the athletes. So athletes resumed their training as a result of that because they were encouraged by children. So sports world, as a result of that, recognize that the sports has a power to move people. We were able to get recognition of that once again in Nadeshiko, Japan. Half a year later, became a champion in the World Cup women's soccer, and also we had the largest number of medals gained in the London Olympics held the next year. So there is a good appeal that you can find with the sports, and athletes were able to rediscover the appeal and attraction of these sports. So I am a former athlete myself. I'm a minister now. So to watch and play and the joining, watching, and supporting is the important slogan. Only half a year away from the Olympic at the end of November, new national stadium was completed and test event has been running in various different places. In total, 56 test events. And ever since last year, ever since last summer, that is, many progress have been made in preparation. And in terms of the test event, many of them have been held, and not the test event, but in last autumn, Rugby World Cup has been hosted by Japan, which marked a great success. And through those holding the games, we are faced with a transport issue, food and drinking issue at the venue, or cyber terrorism related issues. One by one, we were able to identify the issues that we needed to deal with. So all these will be verified together with the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Organizing Committee. We will work them closely, and we are working at it. And as for the security measures, according to my experience, last time as an athlete, my game was Atlanta. And in the Olympic Village, there was an explosion incident which had taken place. So ever since environment had changed for the security, and for the London Olympic, I was the deputy leader of the game, and cyber attack became more prominent by that time. According to the record, at the time of the London game, cyber attack amounted to 200 million times. On the record, Pyeongchang last Winter Olympic, the number rose to 600 million times. So based on the basic security strategy, the CSIRT has been established, whose operation had begun since April last year, and good cooperation is done with the relevant organizations, particularly last year, which was the last run of exercise focused on the critical infrastructure, both public and private. Nationwide, through the internet, people were connected, and about 5,000 people had taken part in that test run simulation work. What can be assumed for having an exercise? In July 24th, Tokyo Olympic opening ceremony will be held, and on the very day of opening ceremony, we assume that a blackout will take place. What to do in time of a blackout? Those are the assumed hypothetical issue we identified and looked at critical infrastructure, Metropolitan Police Agency and National Police Agency. All these central organizations were taking part in recovering the situation. there are many contact points which have been named, and we had conducted a simulation how to recover from this situation. Of course, natural disasters might happen as well. So vis-a-vis the natural disaster, we will get ready. It changes from day to day, 24/7 throughout the year. We have to get prepared so that Olympics and Paralympics will be running without a hitch. So what about the traffic and transport-related measures? Inbound would amount to 40 million foreign visitors, and this is an unprecedented scale of event. So the transport quality and services need to be secured in the metropolis, big metropolis of Tokyo, and Tokyo-wise livelihood should not be disturbed. So much consideration needs to be paid. Traffic will tend to congested and concentrated in the central part of Tokyo, but our aim is to reduce the traffic volume by 30% toward mitigating the traffic. In and around July the 24th opening ceremony, there are going to be 4 straight in a row holiday. And August the 9th is a closing ceremony, and around which 3 consecutive days will be named a holiday. And the legislation will put into place to enable that, so that holiday consecutively will be placed. And in summer last year, in reality, we wanted to see how effective these measures will be. So on the July 22nd to August 2nd on the weekday, also August 29th to 30th, another weekday portion, Olympic period and Paralympic period, that is. We wanted to have also test run on the regulation and the reduction of the traffic. Regulating or just communicating the information will not be enough. It will not have a visible effect on reducing the traffic volume, for example. So we know we need to do more, and we will also run a series of simulations going on with Tokyo Metropolitan Government and Organizing Committee, the measures for the expressway, the nighttime discounting system will be introduced. The fare will be reduced by half. And apart from the relevant vehicles focused on the general people, the daytime toll will be made higher with additional 1,000 yen. That will be the measures to restrain on the traffic volume, and those measures will be implemented during the Olympics and Paralympics. So there are many public enterprises and private enterprises who are making efforts, cooperating with us, and flexible working hours and telework are being encouraged, particularly around the leading businesses. In this summer, the 50% or more telework have been attempted. And during the time which will be freed up, people can work as a volunteer, or people can go to games and enjoy them. So big business are cooperating with us on this front. The measures against the heat, the temperature rise on the surface of the street is very high, so that heat shunning pavement have been developed. And foreign people are not used to Japanese hot weather, so heat stroke related information will be transmitted, and first aid will be made available in foreign languages, from a hardware part and software part. As a part of the heat measure, IOC suddenly had come up and said to us last year, marathon and the race walk are to be relocated to Hokkaido, Sapporo. That was a suggestion made from the IOC, and we decided to accept that. The course and the timing have been determined. Some of the athletes and runners have been taken aback, and Tokyo is so looking forward to watching the game directly. But there are so many games held throughout Japan, not only in Tokyo, and we really like to keep the momentum for the games. More than anything else, we have to work on the infectious diseases front. At the government, in addition to relevant organizations, Tokyo Metropolitan Government and Organization Committee toward the 2020 Tokyo Olympic, there are measures which are considered and taken for the infectious diseases, and the liaison committee have been already held and met. And this arrived, a new type of coronavirus diseases have been found. So the border measures is something that we need to work on much harder, and we will do that for sure. For coming immigrants, thermography will be used for the body temperature check, and also from the Wuhan, people coming in and going out will be asked to self-declare, and suspicious symptom surveillance will also be applied. In advance, then one can do something to prevent infectious diseases to become full-blown. So MHW's homepage and other relevant ministries' website is uploading the relevant information, and we are preparing for it. And next, the second is the significance of holding the game in Japan. Tokyo Olympic back in 1964 was the very first Olympic held in Asia. So Japan was coming out from the defeat of war and showed to the rest of the world Japan came back. And that paved the way for the high economic growth and so forth, a matured country. And Tokyo is now much more mature than the previous time, and we are going to hold the Olympics in that vein. There are global issues such as measures against heat, responses to natural disasters, poverty, energy. All these issues abound, and Japan's science and technology and cultural strength can be applied. We can take lead and role in solving the problems of the world. Technology can be applied, whatever means we have, and you'll be able to send out a big message to the rest of the world. As for the energy, for the very first time, hydrogen bus and hydrogen car will be used. That's already determined. We like to be friendly to the natural environment as much as possible through technology, and we like to showcase that during the time of Olympics and Paralympics. And also the Paralympics. For the very first time, Olympic Paralympics are held simultaneously, concurrently. This is the very first time to do that in Tokyo this time. So we have to have a Paralympics to become a success, otherwise the Tokyo game will not be a success overall. People with a disability and awareness on the disability, Japanese people will have a good opportunity to understand. Olympic game stadium has to get excited. We hope that all the venues will be fulfilled and packed. Since October the 2nd last year, for the Paralympic ticket, the first round of a lottery outcome have been released. For the first round of lottery, about 390,000 people applied for the lottery for tickets. And the London game had a very successful Paralympics game. And for that London game, for the Paralympics, the application in Tokyo was triple the application made at the London game for the Paralympic. The expectations are huge, and we'd like to really live up to the expectation. And now I would like to talk about the mental barrier-free and the universal design-based towns. Government is making nationwide effort and also encouraging local government body to come up with barrier-free structures. For example, in Kyoto City, just the other day, for the newly built hotels and the ryokan, the inns, they released that they will be obligated to have a barrier-free system to be placed within every rooms So universal design, barrier-free. Based on that notion, the towns can be made in a sustainable fashion. So we are encouraging all the parties relevant to come on board and work at it. Building towns in that manner. And we hope to spread that campaign throughout Japan. And about the capabilities of sports, joining, watching, and supporting, we like to strengthen them on every front. Strength that the sports have is immeasurable, unfathomable. Thanks to sports, regions can get vitalized. Sports, food, and medical care, and tourism, all these can get combined around sports, and new industry can also be created.
We're trying to promote such initiative in different ways. Another important point is experience. While I was aiming to participate in the Olympic Games when I was in 3rd grade, we suffered from renal disease. It was chronic renal disease. PTSD. I suffered from PTSD. Testing. Testing. This is the English channel testing. Sorry. So when I was aiming to become an Olympic athlete, I was born with this renal disease. And because of this disease, I began to suffer from emotional disease as well. And my arm muscle became dysfunctioned, and I still have a hard time inhaling and exhaling deeply. So during my hospitalization in senior high school, I suffered B hepatitis because of malpractice at the hospital and continued to suffer B hepatitis. But because of progress in medical science, I was able to recuperate. But as an athlete, I suffered from 2 diseases, and I continued to have 1 impairment and 2 diseases. And under such situation, many different types of medication was given to me. So I was taking various different medicines, but I was diagnosed that it's not possible for me to become an athlete because that I would be hitting the doping criteria. So through food and through kinetics and motion science, I tried to improve my health, and it was miraculous. And the doctor said it was miraculous, but I was able to participate in the games 7 times. But because of such diseases, I was able to obtain the self-recuperation power and self-control, and that had led to my longevity as an athlete. So I think sport gives the opportunity to develop the strength to overcome adversity. And that's why I so much appreciate the power of sport. And through the athletes of the Paralympic Games, I'm sure that the children will begin to have courage and confidence and begin to feel the possibility of the strength to overcome adversities. And in this context, prolongation of healthy life expectancy is one of the challenges of the national government. And by spreading sports to all Japanese citizens, by offering more opportunities, we're trying to prolong the healthy life expectancy. Mainstream medicine is still the reactive treatment, but preventive medicine is the key for the future, and we truly hope that this will be an opportunity to shift our gear to preventive medicine. Now, Host Town Initiative. This is an initiative that did not exist in past Olympic and Paralympic Games, and harmonious inclusive society is a theme that is being introduced for the first time. There are 405 host towns involving 478 municipalities, and we now have 163 participating countries and territories having host town relationship, which is 80% of the games participating countries and territories. We want to increase this to as close as 100% as possible. And in 2020, Host Town House will be installed, and close to the village in the campus of the Musashino University, there will be an exhibition place where many municipalities that participate in the Host Town initiative will be able to introduce their activities. Further, municipalities who didn't have the facilities to successfully bid for the pre-games camps were facing difficulty to become host towns. We want to offer these municipalities a resolution as well. So we came up with this new initiative called Tadaima Okaeri Host Town, meaning we're back, welcome back host time. In Japan, when you come home, you say Tadaima, and then the people in your home would say Okaeri, welcome back, when you return back home. After the games are over, athletes and staff will visit these Tadaima Okaeri host towns. So even if they cannot prepare in advance of the games, they can visit these municipalities after the games, and we're seeing an increase in the number of Tadaima Okaeri host towns as well. So I hope that you, as members of the media, could communicate that this initiative is underway. And also, Beyond 2020 program and Beyond 2020 Be My Best program are underway. This is a sport event, and at the same time, it's a cultural festivity. And we have the Beyond 2020 program, which certifies cultural programs that would contribute to the creation of legacy for the next generation. Finally, this is going to be a recovery Olympic and Paralympics. Without the Games being a recovery Olympics and Paralympics, it cannot be a success. At the time of the earthquake and tsunami, immediately after the Great East Japan earthquake, the areas hit were supported by warm support from the international community. And we want the Tokyo Games to be an opportunity to convey the feeling of gratitude for such support to the international community. And at the same time, we want to showcase the profiles of the status quo of the affected areas. And we are going to be doing the Arigato Host Town for supporting reconstruction in 3 prefectures, Iwate, Miyagi, and Fukushima. In Olympia, there will be the lighting ceremony of the torch, and the torch relay will do the grand start at J Village in Fukushima. We will start on March 26th and will continue for 121 days, including transfer days, and will be circulating around the nation. And also, produce for the meals is very important. GAP certification is obliged for agricultural produce in the procurement. In March 2018, Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee came up with the basic strategy for food and beverage services, which explicitly identifies that priority would be given to domestic produce, and also Japanese dining will be provided. This is a unique new initiative, and the area that produced the ingredient will be labeled at the Japanese cuisine corner. For the maintenance of condition of the athletes and to enable them to achieve their own best, we need to offer them great food and beverages, which we will do. We also will be offering menus that utilize affected area produce in order to offer communication on Japanese culinary culture. And also victory bouquet. In the past, only the medal and mascot dolls were given to the medalists, but we wanted to do something special, and we did a campaign, and decision was made that victory bouquet will be given as a supplementary prize to the medalists. The flowers produced in the Great East Japan earthquake hit areas will be included in the bouquet, which will be a symbol of the recovery Olympic and Paralympic Games, and agriculture, education, culture, and tourism will become a focus through this initiative, which will all contribute to our society becoming even more sustainable. Host town and cultural programs will be done, and we want to, through these initiatives, make this a nationwide celebrity. During the games, the results of the athletes will receive the whole attention. So I ask the press to convey the new science and technology that we will be offering, as well as these other related initiatives before and after the games to be showcased to the international community. Last week I was in Lausanne. President Bach again commended highly that preparations are smoothly underway, but we're not complacent. Under the resolve that we will do everything possible, I will do my best as the minister in charge, so I will count on your help. Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
は逐次で通訳が入ります。質問のある方は挙手して指名されましたら、ハンドマイクを使って必ずお名前とご所属を述べられてから質問してください。お一人一問に限らせていただきます。それでは、質問に入ります。Gentlemen.
Thank you very much. We would like to now begin the Q&A, and the Q&A will be proceeding in consecutive translation. Those of you who have questions, please raise your hand, and when appointed, please speak into the hand microphone to identify your name and affiliation before going into the question. We give the opportunity for each person to ask one question. Anyone?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for your briefing. My name is Bernard Delattre. I'm journalist for French and Belgian media outlets. You do have a fantastic life. Now you're minister in charge of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, and before you took part in numerous games as an athlete. My question is, during these games, did you learn several things as an athlete that now are helpful for your job as a minister in charge of the Olympic Games? Thank you very much.
大臣、今日の午後はこのように貴重な機会をくださってありがとうございます。私はフランスとベルギーを統括しておりますメディア会社のものです。今、大臣はオリパラ担当大臣となられたけれども、その前はアスリートとして、オリンピックに携わっておられた、参加しておられた。実際にアスリートとして参加していたときにご自身で得た経験が今の大臣のお仕事において役立っている側面ってあるでしょうか。
はい、たくさんあります。それはやはりアスリートの感覚でしかない部分というものもたくさんあるというふうに思っております。
Yeah, thank you for your question. Actually, there are many, because there are certain senses that only athletes can understand.
パラリンピックのアスリート、あるいはオリンピックのアスリートというふうな違いもあるように、選手目線でしかわからないところがありまして、輸送の問題、あるいは食の問題、そういったものも含めて、アスリートならではの視点というのはなかなか全体には分かりえないところがあるというふうに思いますので、そういったところというのはやはりする人がいて、見る人、そして支える人で、こういった全体像をどの部分においても経験してきた人間しか分からないところをしっかりとやっていきたいというふうに思っております。
Just like there are differences between the athletes for the Paralympics and athletes for the Olympics, there are things that only athletes can understand in terms of the transport and food and whatnot. So I would like to really value the athlete's perspective myself, which may not be shared by everyone in the society. And we hope that when people join, watch, and support the game, we will also apply the perspective which could only be given from the athlete's point of view.
Next question, gentlemen. Yeah.
Thank you, David McNeil for The Economist, and thanks for your very comprehensive briefing. Sorry to just focus a little bit on the negative, but the games, as you know, were sold to the taxpayers as low cost. I think the exact phrase was compact games for I think it was $7.3 billion was the initial estimate. There have been reports that the games will now cost something like 3 trillion yen, so 4 times the initial estimate. Would you just care to comment on whether you think those estimates are correct and how you think these costs can be kept down?
どうもありがとうございます。エコノミスト誌のデイビッド・マクニールと申します。非常に包括的なプレゼンテーションをどうもありがとうございます。ちょっと後ろ向きなついてご質問させていただくことを、まずお詫び申し上げるところでありますけれども、もともとは納税者の方たちに今回の大会は低コスト大会になるということが触れ込みだったわけであります。その時はコンパクト大会というような標語が使われたと思いまして、当初出された見積もりといたしましては73億ドルっていう数字が確か出てたと思うんです。ところが最新の試算によると、その約4倍の3兆円といったような数字も出てきているところであります。ですので大臣にこの試算が正しいかどうかということ、そしてどのようにして経費節減ができるのかということについて伺いたいと考えます。
はい、ありがとうございます。当初はコンパクト開催ということでありましたけれども、東京都内において、既存の施設を使っていく、あるいは仮設の競技場を作っていくということをいろいろと検証してきた結果、日本は仮設施設でありましても地震ですとかの災害が多い国ということもありまして、建築法が非常に厳しいわけですね。でそれによって建てるのと同じぐらいのコストがかかっていくということの中で、既存の施設を利用するため、そして、アジェンダ2020というものが示された結果、東京都外の既存の施設を作っていくということでの、経費削減に踏み切ったというのがまず最初の経緯としてあります。
Well, thank you for your question. So initially, of course, we touted that Olympic game in Tokyo will be a compact one, but we had verified subsequently the situation in Tokyo metropolitan area, looking at the existing facilities as well as the idea of building provisional facilities just for the purpose of the game. But because Japan is an earthquake-prone country, very vulnerable to natural disasters, even at the time of a provisional building, the building code to be applied is very stringent and severe, so that costs that will be incurred as a result of making the provisional building will be as the same as making a full-blown building. That was the finding. So the thrust was to make use of the existing facilities, and we made up Agenda 2020, and we also drawn the idea of using the existing facilities available outside of Tokyo as well. And through these measures, we try to reduce the cost.
どんどんコストがかさんでいるというふうな試算計算があるんではないかというふうには言われているんですけど、実は東京大会だから整備をする、あるいは建築をしたいうこと以外に必ずこれは必要であるという経費ものも全て重なって合計金額として出されたということがあります。いずれにしても3兆円を超えるといったことは全くありませんで、今直接的にオリンピック・パラリンピックの大会に関係する予算ということに関して言えば全く経費というものは増額はしていないというのが現状であります。例えばオリンピック・パラリンピックに関連をするということが一つ入っているだけでも宇宙衛星のひまわりも オリンピック・パラリンピックの予算ではないかということで、そこに組み込まれたということもありますので、そういったことはオリンピック・パラリンピックだからという予算ではないものですから、日常的に必要なものの予算と変わりなくあるということなものですから、全く経費がかさんでいるということはありえないということであります。
But I know that people say that our cost is increasing by the day, going up and up. But as far as the Tokyo Games are concerned, of course, a certain budget will be needed to provide for a certain facility or building a certain structures. But there are other absolutely necessary expenses also involved as well. So if you add up all these amounts, I can tell you that it will not amount to over 3 trillion yen or so that you mentioned. Because if you just focus on those expenses which are directly related to Olympics and Paralympics, then I could assure you that in terms of the expenses, there was no increase recorded. But if you say that if a certain project has a relevance to Olympics and Paralympics, even Himawari, which is a satellite which is up in the space for the meteorological purposes, can say that they have a relevance to a certain extent, Olympics and the Paralympics. But those are the things which are provided for from the day-to-day necessary budget, not because of the Olympics and the Paralympics. So that being the case, if you just focus on the direct expenses, there has not been any increase of the expenses.
Next question, Shiro-san.
Thank you. My name is Richard Susilo. I'm a media from Indonesia. Very simple question, my minister. I love your born city in Hayakita and also Takomai. Very beautiful. I went there. My question about my country is 85% Muslim. So what is your anticipate for Muslim countries people, the place of pray, how could they spend their time for praying? This one. Could I ask one more? It's about because you mentioned here promote one more question. You mentioned here promote internationalization. So I remember your home country also, your home city also, Takomai. They promote casino in Takomai. So some of weekly magazine criticize you. Are you supporting the casino in Hokkaido? Meanwhile, the people of Hokkaido, 60-70% based on the survey of Hokkaido Shimbun, they oppose the casino in Hokkaido. Thank you very much.
インドネシアのスシリオ・リチャードと申します。非常にシンプルな質問です。私、北海道大好き、そして大臣の出身地の苫小牧にも行ったことがあります。我が国におきましては 85% がムスリム人口です。そういった中で大会期間中に祈祷時間などはどのような配慮が、なされるんでしょうか。でもう一つ質問させていただくと、今大臣のご発表の中に自治体による国際化ということに触れられました。私苫小牧も大好きなんですけれども、カジノの案があるというふうに伺っております。北海道新聞が行った調査によると、北海道民の人たちのうちかなりの比率でカジノ設立に反対されている方が多いという結果が発表されているんですけれども、これについてはどのようにお考えでしょうか。
はい、まずは1点目ですけれども、これはムスクという解釈でよろしいんですか。祈りですか。はい、はい、今選手村ですとか、あるいはそういったスタッフの方、関係者の方がそういった場所が確保できるようにそういった場所を設置をする、あるいは移動することによってそういう祈りの時間をしていただけるような場所を提供するような形を今組織委員会で検討して設置するということには変わりませんけれども、まだ場所ですとか時間ですとかそういったことはこれからというふうな状況であります。 まずは最初はそれ。
Thank you for your question. Answering your first question, of course, efforts are underway at the Olympic villages as well as staffers concerned to think about ensuring the place where people can gather and pray. And the organizing committees are now considering how best they can be provided. Because prayer places have to be provided when athletes are in transport and so forth. So it's being considered, but not yet the details have been worked out as for the exact place or the location or the timeline. But anyway, the places for the prayers will be secured and provided for.
カジノを含む IR についてですけれども、今回第1回の国への申請は北海道は見送りとなりましたので、地元住民の皆様方の意見というものが、反映された結果ではなかったかなというふうに思っております。
Now, you asked me about another question about casinos and IR, but for the first time around the application, the Hokkaido decided not to make application. And I think this decision has been the outcome of having reflected the views of the local residents.
Next question, gentlemen.
Excuse me. Hi, Minister. Stephen Wade with Associated Press. Mr. Bach last week made it very clear that athletes will not be allowed to show any protest signs on the podiums or in the stadiums, any political signs. However, will Japan be good with having athletes express their civil liberties rights outside the stadiums, protests, signs, freely able to talk, freely able to assemble, as they would be in any free Western country? Thank you.
AP 通信のスティーブンと申します。先週だったでしょうか、バッハ会長が、全く今後に関しては政治的なメッセージの発出は許可しないと、また抗議などを政治色のあるものに関しては許可しないということを発表されているんですけれども、日本人を含めてアスリートの人たちの市民権を守るべく、競技会場の外であれば通常の民主主義国で許されているような集会の自由、言論の自由を守って彼らが集会すること、あるいは、言論の自由を持って発信するということは許されるんでしょうか。
今後、国、そして、東京都、あるいは組織委員会、そして、この大会の、主催であります IOC、そういったところがどういうような国の事情、あるいは現状、そして集会の内容、そういったことに関して様々だというふうに思います。で、その状況によってそれぞれの自由によって、どのような対処をするべきかということが異なっていくと思いますので、そこの場面に対して、しっかりとシミュレーションしなければいけないと思いますけれども、今後その場面場面によって対応されていくものだというふうにして考えております。
Of course, going forward, there are countries as well as the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and Organizing Committee as well as IOC, who is the sponsor of the game. All these entities will be involved and look at each situation because from country to country situations are different and how to have an assembly and so forth might be different from one place to another and so forth. So there are so many things that need to be considered at the same time, and I would presume that all these cases will be resolved and responded to appropriately, case by case. So I agree that the simulation work needs to be done further, but basic way to handle that, I would say, to be done by case according to each of the situation and the case.
Next question, the lady here.
ロシア通信スプートニク日本のエレオノーラと申します。興味深いブリーフィング誠にありがとうございました。復興五輪についてお聞きしたいことがあります。これはもしかして答えづらい質問かもしれないと恐れ入れますが、お伺いします。今回の東京五輪は1964年の五輪と同様に復興五輪となりまして、被災地が回復するために本当にたくさんの作業が行われてきたと思いますが、 でもマスコミによりますと福島県では復興が十分に行われていないと思う人が多く、それで五輪を祝うムードが全くない人々もいる模様です。それについてご意見はお伺いしてもよろしいですか。
はい。
Thank you very much. My name is Shumilova Eleonora from Russian press. I have a question with regards to the recovery Olympic and Paralympic Games. This might be a question that might be slightly difficult for you to answer, but I will ask anyway. Like the 1964 Olympic Games, the upcoming Tokyo Games will be games for recovery and reconstruction. Much work has been done in order to cause recovery and reconstruction in the affected areas. However, according to press reports, in Fukushima Prefecture, sufficient progress has not been seen in the process of reconstruction, and it seems that amongst the residents in some groups, there is no mood whatsoever to celebrate the hosting of the games. What are your thoughts on this matter?
やはり 100% ということはないというふうに思いますけれども、ただこのオリンピック・パラリンピックが決定をした6年半前は確かにそれどころじゃないんではないかというような県民の皆さんの声はありました。ただそれによって全くそれがマイナスになるということは考えていない人が多かったのも確かであります。
Of course, nothing can be 100% in full, but it was 6.5 years ago that the Olympics and Paralympics were decided to be hosted by Japan. And it is true that at that time, many of the prefectural residents have thought that, this is no time to hold such an event because of the difficulty. But I would say that not everyone thinks that everything is negative as a result of holding the games like this.
反対意見は当然ありましたけれども、でもほとんどの方々は2020年という大きな目標があることによって復興するスピードを上げていく力に変えていくんだということは確かに感じ取れる力になりまして、そのために福島あるいは宮城、岩手といった被災地を中心として復興の加速、そして持続可能な社会を作り上げていくこと、そして夢と希望、感動、そういったものが被災地だからこそ感じ取ることができる対策、こういったものを国を挙げてやってきていることによって特に被災地の子どもたちは大変な歓迎の中で今取り組みをしていただいているということになっていると思います。
It is true that there are some who have been opposed to holding the games like Olympics and the Paralympics, but most of the people felt that they were happy to have a big goal lying ahead in the year 2020 because that would be a good inspiration as well as a source of the speed for accelerating the speed of reconstruction work and so forth. Therefore, Fukushima, Miyagi, and Iwate, all these prefectures have been the affected area. But because of the goals set, they were able to move more quickly and accelerate the work toward reconstruction and aim the goal of realizing sustainable development and progress and so forth. And the people are feeling that there are dreams and the hopes and the touching moments that people can expect from holding those events. And in order to make that possible, nationwide measures have also been taken to help the people who have been affected. And indeed, children from the affected areas are feeling so happy and so filled with a welcoming mood for the upcoming games.
2時が近づいておりますので、最後質問だけをまず3人の質問をお伺いします。Gentlemen.
Since the time to close is approaching, so this time we will take 3 questions from 3 persons altogether. Gentlemen.
One from China Xinhua News Agency. You talked the Japanese IOC member predicted Japan will win 30-something gold medals at the Olympic Games. As a former athlete and minister now of the government, how important do you think that for the Japanese delegation to win more good medals and to make sure that the games is a success. Because you have talked about security, talk about traffic, everything. So how important is good medals? Thank you very much.
新華通信のワンと申します。IOC の日本人委員の方が、日本の選手団が30の金メダルを獲得するといったような予想を出しておられる、元アスリートの橋本大臣としては、日本の選手が金メダルをなるべく多く活躍、を通して獲得するっていうことの重要性ってどの程度だと思いますか？なるべく多く日本の選手が金を獲得すると、やはりそれによって大会の成功っていうのが導かれるんでしょうか。今大臣のご発表の中でセキュリティですとか輸送などについて触れられたんですけれども、大会の成功にとって日本人選手の活躍ってどの程度の重要性を持つんでしょうか。
Okay, next, France Van Kato.
So I'm Aruna from France 24. My question is again about the recovery games. We are talking about recovery when still there are many people still in makeshift shelters, and there are areas like Futaba which have not yet been opened, and there have been some hotspots that have been found near the J village where the relay is going to start. So what is the position of the government with regard to that, and what are the measures that you're taking to make sure that it's perfectly safe?
フランス24の記者のものです。また復興についての質問です。未だ被災地におきましては仮設住宅での生活を余儀なくされている人もいますし、なかなか再開できない施設も残っているし、聖火リレーのスタート地点であるところの J ビレッジの近くでもホットスポットなどが、あって、測定されているわけです。これに対する政府のポジションは、どういったものか、また、そういった懸念を緩和するための措置についてもお話しください。
Okay, the last question, please.
Shingo Ito from AFP. I would like to ask about Japan's sustainability efforts for the Olympics. Some NGOs and others are criticizing Japan's weak, loose standard for the sourcing code of the procurements, such as timber, palm oil from overseas. What do you think about that? Could you tell us about your opinions?
AFP 通信の伊藤慎吾と申します。日本のサステナビリティの分野における努力について伺います。いくつかの NGO は日本政府の基準がまだ甘いということを批判しておりまして、例えば調達高度に関してもなかなか基準が弱すぎると、木材およびヤシ油の調達などで問題が発生しているということを指摘していますけれども、これについてのお考えを聞かせてください。
はい。一つ目はメダルの重要性ということですけれども、やはり、多くの注目を集めるのは何といっても選手の活躍だというふうに思います。自国開催で自国の選手が活躍をすればするほど大きな盛り上がりになると思いますので、メダルは重要だと思います。特に昨年のワールドカップでも見られるように日本チームが決勝リーグまで行くということでだんだんと盛り上がってきたということもその表れだと思います。
Thank you. Your first question, how important are the medals? Of course, people's attention is drawn to how well their athletes will do. So since Olympics are held within our own country, so people are looking at how well their own homegrown athletes will perform in that game. So in that sense, the medals are very important because it helps to really excite the environment. Last year, as seen in the World Cup, Japanese team had done so well and made it up to the final tournament stage, which had really helped the entire nation to get excited.
いまだ仮設住宅で、暮らしている方々もたくさんいるわけでありますけれども、こういったことを一日も早くしっかりと解決するためはオリンピック・パラリンピックがあるないにかかわらずやっていかなければいけないことですので、これには全力を今尽くしているところです。
And going on to your second question, it is true that still a large number of people have been compelled to live within the provisional make-out housing facilities. So those issues need to be resolved as soon as possible. So it's not a matter of whether Olympics and Paralympics will be held or not. Despite whether all these games will be held or not, these are the dire issue that needs to be addressed. That is why all out efforts are now being made to resolve the problem.
ご指摘の特に聖火リレーがスタートする J ビレッジの汚染量の問題だと線量の問題だというふうに受け止めておりますけれども、これは東京電力あるいは環境省がしっかりと調査をした結果軽減されておりまして、いまだその問題に対しては全く問題ないということであります。ただご指摘いただいたようにしっかりとそういったものは日々調査が必要であると思いますので、各省庁連携をとってこういった問題がしっかりと科学的な根拠のもとに安全性が確保されるための発信もしっかりとやっていきたいと思っております。
And about your point out about the, I think you were talking about the dose level at the J Village where the torch relay will start. And of course, TEPCO and environmental ministries have been attending to the job of checking on the levels of those doses in the surrounding area. And it has been reported that there is no problem. And of course, nevertheless, on daily basis, checking procedures need to be gone through to make sure that those will not pose any problem. And for that, all the intergovernmental agencies have to work together, strictly based on the science evidence-based approach, based on which the security needs to be provided for. And this is a stance which have been upheld.
もう一つに関してはやはり調達基準が甘いのではないかというご指摘でよろしいですか。はい、これに関してもやはり各関係省庁しっかりと連携を取り、そして組織委員会 IOC と国との連携強化のもとに科学的な部分においての根拠もしっかりと示しながら対応していく問題でありますので、このことはご指摘をいただいたように、またそういったことがないようにしっかりと鋭意取り組んでいく所存です。
One more point about the lax procurement code found in Japan and whatnot. On that point as well, relevant governmental agencies are working together, and they are also working together with the IOC as well as organizing committee here, try to come up with responses which are based solidly on the scientific grounds and making sure that there is no problem. And making sure that there is no problem, responses are being made.
それでは今日のブリーフィングを終わります。大臣どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
This is the end of the briefing. Let us thank the minister.